This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're at the 9th annual LD Micro main event in Bel Air, California. With me right now is Brent David Willis from New Age Beverages, publicly traded company with the symbol NBEV. Brent, welcome to SNNLive.
Thanks, Robert. Very good to see you.
It's great to see you too.
Thank you.
For our audience, let's start with an overview of the company, and we'll go from there.
Well, we're a New Age Beverages company, in short, NBEV, not the INBEV that I used to be part of, but the NBEV. We are intending to be the world's largest healthy, functional beverage company. Why? Because we can. The opportunity is there, and we've got the financial infrastructure, we've got the business infrastructure, the brands, the access to the capital markets, and we think virtually all of the ingredients that we need to be successful and take advantage of a very interesting inflection point in the time of the beverage industry. So we're just going to do it.
Well, before we get to that, because I'm definitely going to follow up on that point that you just made, give me a little history of the company. You know, where did it start and how did it evolve to where it's currently at today?
The company started really as a brewing company called American Brewing Company on one side. And about a year and a half ago, they purchased Bucha Live Kombucha brand. And it was tiny. It was a $2.5 million business. And they asked me to come in and get involved, and I said, no. Finally, I succumbed. And I joined in end of April, beginning of May, and it was small. And I said, look, we're going to sell this small little craft brewery. Sold that, used the proceeds to pay off the Bucha acquisition, so now it's a small little debt-free enterprise. And then 30 days later, we acquired another company that was 20 times its size, profitable, with an infrastructure, with a team, with a great brand portfolio that was really undercapitalized, underleveraged. Merged those two things together, and that was the starting point, really the kickoff point, Robert, because then from there, we were able to, in the very first quarter, significantly organically grow this thing, both top line and bottom line. So I think top line grew 11%, gross profit grew like 14%, and EBITDA grew kind of 200%, apples to apples. And then most recently, probably within the last 30 days, we've added the Marley beverage business, which is ready-to-drink coffee, relaxation beverages, and the Marley franchise and the Marley name, which is kind of 75 million Facebook followers. It's really a global kind of brand with penetration in some new categories. So we've gone basically in 5 months from 2.5 million to kind of a 70 million run rate, but we're not stopping there, and we're sure not looking back.
Sure. So, all right. So you mentioned a few of the lines in there. Let's add it all together. Please tell me, what are some of the brands that are under the NBEV umbrella? And, tell me a little bit about each that maybe some of our audience may not know as much about.
It's a great question. And, we put equal love on all of our children. We love them all equally. and we think they all have real legs and potential. So the first brand is Zing Tea. Zing Tea competes globally in the $51 billion ready-to-drink tea category that's growing about 10%. And this is the number one ranked tea in North America. So not top 10, not top 5, number one ranked tea in terms of taste. So it's got a lot of potential. Then we have a franchise called Bucha Live Kombucha. It's actually also the number one ranked kombucha in its space, but it's an organic, beautiful, elegant product that's really in the fastest growing segment of the beverage industry, which is the kombucha space. It's now about 1.6 billion as a global segment. We compete in energy drinks with the first ever non-GMO, no preservatives, all pure cane and honey sweetened beverage. And that product competes in the $39 billion energy drink category, really is the first healthy energy drink. And then also we have Aspen Pure, which is a perfect pH balanced water that comes out of the Aspen Highlands, direct out of the Continental Divide. We bottle it, filter it, and then send it out across the United States. The two newest pieces of the franchise, Marley, is a product called Marley Mellow Mood, after the song, which is a relaxation drink, and Marley One Drop Coffee. The products just taste fantastic, and it just adds great scale to the firm and penetration in these additional growth categories.
So you said something in a little bit earlier in the interview where you said it was an inflection point in the beverage industry. What does that mean?
Well, I've been in the beverage industry for probably 20, 25 years. It's a long time, and I used to run about half of the Coca-Cola company for Latin America, and then I built this small little beer company called NBEV, the other NBEV. Yeah, it was small when we started, but it ended up being pretty big. So what's interesting about the industry now is consumers are actually really changing. They're not just talking healthy, they're actually now spending healthy. And the health and wellness trends, it's not a U.S. phenomenon. It's really happening around the world. As a result, retailers cannot change fast enough. They can't switch out of their carbonated soft drink sets or their other sets to put in healthy functional beverage sets, and they're doing it as quickly as they can. And that creates a real problem and real headwinds for the traditional leaders in the space, both on the processed food side and in the food industry, but also in carbonated soft drinks, because it's a real anchor around these traditional leaders in the space. And it creates an opportunity really for anybody, but for us also. And we believe we have both the business infrastructure and foundation and the capital infrastructure to be able to take advantage of that opportunity. So we are.
So let's talk shelf space. I mean, because you have all these different brands in your umbrella, I'm curious as to when you reach out to some of these big distributors, do they take on all the brands in order to get them into all the retail shops that you're looking for, or do they sometimes pick and choose? Like, how does that work?
It's a great question. Well, we try to make them offers that they can't refuse, and typically that works, right? So the value of having all of these brands together is it's a one-stop shop for them. They're all growth brands, and it's more leverage and influence. So it's for a buyer or a head of a distributor, it's kind of one buy. It's one-stop shop with us. So it's really attractive for them. But then at the same time, for retailers, it's also really good for them because it saves them time. It's one growing franchise. It's one customer to deal with versus lots of little customers. So the consolidation from a time utilization standpoint is really good. And for us, it's leverage, it's influence. It's more scale and credibility with both our retailer and our distributor partners. So it really helps the whole supply chain.
So I know you brought this up a little bit earlier, but I'm going to ask you this again. What's your background?
I am just an executor. I'm just an operator. I spent time in the military. I went to West Point, the military academy, served the country for a number of years, then did business school at Chicago, and then I started Kraft. I got to launch Kraft into China, actually in the ready-to-drink coffee business, because that's the first brand I launched, Maxwell Coffee, into China in 1991. And then I became president for Coca-Cola for about half of Latin America, and then I started at a small little beer company in Belgium and changed the name to InBev, and we became the world's largest beer company, and I was just the number 2 in the firm, but it's a great experience. And then I bought a number of my own little companies, and I started here 5 or 6 months ago, and so far it's so good, but it's nowhere near what we intend to be, and that's why I don't really like talking about my background because it doesn't really matter. It's just the past. The only thing that matters is what are you going to do for the future? What are you going to execute? What difference are you going to make tomorrow? And that's, we got a good team, and we are highly motivated to not just build the world's largest healthy functional beverage company. That's kind of the outcome, honestly, Robert. Our real purpose is to make a difference for consumers with healthier alternatives. And, there's still in our country today 57% of all kids in our country, 8 years old and under, still drink at least one soft drink a day, and we just find that unconscionable. So, we really want to make a difference against that.
So from what you can tell me, what are some of the company's goals and milestones for the first half of 2017?
Yes, exactly. We kind of don't like to prognosticate on the future. We like to tell people what we've done after we've done it. That being said, we're very focused on growing our organic distribution. So you'll see more stores, more outlets, more major customers. We're very focused on expanding our portfolio. And so you see more new products in broader distribution, both within our existing brands and new brands and new channels with intellectual property protection. You'll see significant cost reduction dropping to the bottom line. We're already cash flow positive, but we'd always like to be more cash flow positive and drop more to the bottom line. And we expect to uplist onto a more senior exchange here in the imminent future.
And where can our audience go and find more information about the company?
One of our 4 websites, which is aspenpure.com, zingtea.com, mybucha.com, or drinkmarley.com. Any one of those, and you'll be able to really find out about what really is a pretty tremendous and high potential brand portfolio.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 9th annual LD Micro main event in Bel Air, California. With me again is Brent David Willis from New Age Beverages, publicly traded company with the symbol NBEV. Brent, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Robert. Thank you very much.